Greetings, everybody, and welcome to episode 95 of the Sitcast, aka the Siblings in Cardboard podcast. I'm your host, Noah, joined by my buddy slash co-host, Thomas, and a wonderful guest, Mr. Damien from the Card Guyz, standing in for Justin. And Donnie is out there. I have touched base with him. He's still doing adult stuff, but he says hi too. Whether you're a veteran card gamer or a first timer just testing the waters, we are all siblings in cardboard. Guys, I know we missed a week technically, and now we've got a guest, so things are a little different. But both of you went to Calling Kansas City, and how was that? That's a good topic to start with. And then, past week of Flesh and Blood as well. Why not? Throw it all together.
I mean, Kansas City was really fun, and it was cheap, so it was like a no-brainer to go. I wish I would have done better, but I played Verdance, and I still think I could be better at her. And I think I was on to something spicy because I think one of the lists that did the best that week was also on Talishar to counter Gravy. But they were on Blue Gravekeeping. I've been testing that card. The card's pretty good. Blue Gravekeeping, huh? I also am still undefeated in the league that means nothing on Dash.io. So not only am I guaranteed top 8, I'm now fighting for first seed. And as a Dash.io player, that's a huge deal. So I think they're just going to start televising like round 4 next week. So they're a little bit behind, but I hope everyone gets to watch me just absolutely crush people at Dash.io.
Well, at Kansas City, I took All Clash Victor. Might have been the best decision in hindsight. I matched into too many wizards. I really didn't. I didn't play any of the wizard games. I just sat down and said, "Ooh, that's a 0%." And then I lost. So
it's a straight up 0%. It's 0%.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's straight up 0%. I don't think I could beat any wizards with that deck at all.
How hard to clash when they're not attacking you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When I draw like 4 clash cards and they play an arcane spell, you go, that's a lose.
I guess maybe you could beat Acilio sometimes.
Yeah, but I matched into 2 Kanos and a Verdance that week. So definitely would have beaten those.
There were so many wizards at Kansas City. It was insane. Like there were a couple rounds where I was literally surrounded. I was playing against a wizard and I had 2 wizards to my left and right. So many wizards. Hot Wizard Summer.
Wizard Gaming.
Yeah.
So neither one of you guys did particularly well at the Calling, is what I'm. But still fun all around, side events and things of that nature, right? I mean, was there a Battle Harden there, or was it just the Calling?
There was a Battle Harden, but like Battle Hardens now that they have like this really hard cap thing in place, they sell it really early. If you don't sign up for the Battle Harden by about 1 p.m. of the day of the Calling, of the first day of the Calling, you're probably not getting into the Battle Harden. So as a Calling player, you almost have to sign up before you even know if you're going to make day 2.
Gotcha. Which is kind of counterintuitive because then you're almost like banking you do poorly to play in the Battle Harden. Okay. What about the last week in Flesh and Blood? I don't know, Damien, if you have local armory or anything like that you play weekly, or if you just peruse Talishar and troll people on there. I've queued into you many a time, randomly, in the dead of night and early mornings.
I love playing on Talishar. I wouldn't say it's particularly great. I have armories, I just don't go to it much anymore. But yeah, I do love playing on Talishar, playing like Riptide and Victor and whatnot.
Still on the All Clash, or is there anything new that you've been working on this past week or kind of looking into?
I hate standard Victor, but I love the one where you block with your cards and a bunch of things happen. When you flip Dunks and Wallops, it's like a hit of dopamine.
It's free
drugs.
I tell
you, there was one game at the Calling I blocked with my whole hand, made 5 Vigors and 3 Mites, and then played a Spinal Crush from my arsenal with no cards.
That's wild.
It's like, yeah.
one card Spinal for 12?
Yeah, 1 card Spinal for 12, and then I arsenaled the red in my hand and passed.
Oh, man. That's criminal.
That deck,
Okay.
if you play on that deck's axis, it is incredibly hard to beat. I've played a couple different decks that play into that axis into it. Riptide, it's like impossible. Dash IO, also impossible to win. Like, it's rough. Test Iron Grip's a really good card into aggro. Like, crazy.
Oh, dude,
good.
I love Test of Iron Grip. If you're like skillful with it, it's worth way more than 7.
So, speaking of Guardian cards, how are Guardian cards doing in the market, Noah?
I'll let you know. It's just I want to say something about gravekeeping. It's really funny that you mentioned gravekeeping because I was going to figure out who the top 8 was in both Kansas City and Copenhagen, and I think it was I want to say it was Evan Herndon is the one that won on the Gravekeeper, the Gravy Bones mirror match on Kansas City Calling, who mentioned that gravekeeping was not that good in the Gravy Bones. But the promo was $15, and he was like, I just don't know. I just don't know if it's really that good of a card. From the gravies themselves, but they might be a psyop. Gravekeeping might be a really good card.
So the reason why it's okay in blue is because if it's not playable at the moment, you could just use it as your pitch card. But you realize gravekeeping says you have to like attack your opponent to get the turn card face down. So if the Gravy Bones has a board, you really often don't have space to throw gravekeeping at him.
Just a little quip from the gravies themselves. I mean, in terms of Guardian cards, I think Mastery Pack Guardian's been a big success. We'll get to, I guess, Copenhagen results as well as the calling top 8, although I think Copenhagen had a little bit more of an effect than at least for Kansas City. Most of the Majestics are down. I would say the only Majestic that we'll touch on a few of them, but Call for Backup, I think, has really retained most of its value. It started at a high 22, 25, and it's still kind of keeping around the $18 mark. In fact, I think that card just got bought more recently than some of its initial like $21 and $22 price points. It seems to be being picked up a lot more, keeping it pretty steady around that mark. I think it's a really good card. I think the ability to recur attack actions and or the card itself is really good. And it's generic. So, I mean, is it really a Guardian card? No, but it came out of that set, so we're going to count it. So that's definitely one to take a look at. Whereas Fearless Confrontation was that card that we originally saw really, really high. That has kind of plummeted down to about $13. I wouldn't say it's a bad card. I would still get a playset of it. Again, it's another generic, but that card definitely is something to take a look at with deck building, given the meta and your deck archetype. Obviously, I think the very big chase cards are still quite pricey. I mean, Leyline's Marvel is $545, which is pretty crazy. $250 for the normal. Marvel Vault is $350. The extended arts are mostly about $100 plus, given what they are. The Marvel Shield's completely sold out, and Testament of Valheim normal is $78. So
you said
a lot
the
of
Marvel,
good value in that.
The Marvel Leyline is $545.
$545 for Marvel Leylines of the old one.
Jeez.
The problem is none have actually sold above 360. So it's hard to say. It's just that there's not enough being opened, I guess. So either there's not enough people buying it to sell it, there's not enough people opening them because they're hard to get. But that is the going rate for it. I'm sure Purple Discord trades things like that definitely skew that. So again, you got to take this with a grain of salt because it's just straight off a TCG player. And we're going to get to some other cards where you're like, there's absolutely no way anybody's buying it for that price, right? And the answer is probably not. Marvel Jarl, though, isn't on here, so it's hard to tell what's going on with that card. Although I remember last week we were talking, it was about a $350, $400 card on opening day. And it probably still is around that $250, $350 mark, somewhere in that range. But I would have to confirm that in the Purple Discord. Where like Valda, says she's 350, or sorry, says she's 350, but she hasn't sold for higher than 200. So hard to say. I just think there's a limited pool of Guardian players, and it's nothing to the archetype. I just think that when like Lexi was really big, right? If Victor was a really big deck that won, I just don't think you'd have as much players playing Victor as you would if like Alexi was big. I don't know. I don't think people gravitate toward Guardian like they do the other decks. And I don't want to see a Guardian deck that is like a quintessential aggro deck. I think that'd be horrifying. So I'm okay with it.
I just don't think they got enough of a power boost that people expected from these new cards in Mastery Pack Guardian. Maybe we'll see something change with Super Slam, or like Pleiades or Lyeth might use some of these cards, but shrug.
I do want the Guardian cards to be better, but they weren't. The only cards that were really good for Guardian out of that set were Test of Iron Grip, and that was really just for Victor.
I think Pack Perfect is really interesting. The card is, in my opinion, like quite strong if played correctly. That's the one that you either have to choose to take 9 or lose a bunch of cards off the top of your deck.
I think it's really good in Divergence it's pretty evasive if they don't want to like accidentally mill potions off the top of their deck.
Anyone who's worried about like fatigue, like once you throw that card at them, they have to choose whether they want the game state to progress to a point where they may not have space to take other hits for the rest of the game, or potentially lose a bunch of cards. Because if you think about it, you block with 3 cards, you lose 3 cards, you lost 6 cards out of your deck. And it could get worse if the Victor then or Guardian then has some other turn where they disrupt you again with like a Spinal or something. A lot of times you just say no blocks, so take your 9.
So Mastery Pack Guardian was like, okay, but we're, nothing, I guess, monumental. I mean, Super Slime's definitely going to have some things that just really, it's going to be tailored toward that whole reviled and revered type thing. So I wonder how many cards outside of that we're going to get. And we'll talk about some new revealed expansion slot cards from that as well. Which weirdly enough, I don't think have done anything too crazy to the pricing, but I'll speed through some of the rest of these. These are more cards that just kind of keep an eye on, watch. Outside of that, the only Guardian card I will look at is Gauntlets of Iron Will, which I think have just consecutively kind of gone up a little bit. I mean, they're 45 plus right now for Rainbow Foil, and about $80 for Gold Foil. And that's just more so, I think, because if people want to kind of rotate around Guardian, they are, I'm pretty sure, the go-to gloves for Guardian. I don't know if there's any other options out there, depending, I guess, on the Guardian and the archetype. I guess Jarl would probably play his gloves.
And then you have Crater Fist too sometimes, right? I see that pop up occasionally.
Valda would play Crater Fist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So maybe not a give me for all the Guardians, but definitely something to look into. Pulse Wave Harpoon, I've talked about this card periodically, and it's really weird because I don't think it's necessarily like, I mean, it's a great card, but it's more so this is the Dynasty tax. I mean, this card just kind of, Pulse Wave Harpoon is broken. It's back up in the $15 to $20 range. It's fluctuating around. It's just something to keep a lookout if you ever want to play Mechanologist. It is from Dynasty. That set is actually quite hard to find, believe it or not. So definitely probably want to grab a play set of that as it just kind of trickles up and stays on the radar. Eclectic Magnetism. I think there's been a lot more Acilio. I don't necessarily know if Acilio plays Eclectic Magnetism.
Oh, he definitely does. That is definitely an Acilio card. Yep.
So this has gone up 120% over a 3-month high, and then only about 10% over a 1-month high. So it definitely has jumped up quite a bit from its low price point. I mean, I remember putting up my Rosetta cards a while ago, and this was probably a $3 or $4 card, and it's about $8 to $10 right now. So nothing too crazy. And then going to the next one, Blade Flurry. I think this has always been about a $20 card. It has slowly started coming up toward the $25, $26 mark, for about $17, $18 recently. And that's because I think the new Kasai card has definitely probably brought a little bit of interest. back towards
Does Fang run this card?
Warriors.
I think
Blade Flurry?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, he does.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say
And
Fang. I mean, most Warriors will definitely run Blade Flurry.
Both Kasai and Fang are performing pretty well. There were 2 Kasais that did really well at calling Kansas City. None of them made top 8, but they were at the top tables. So there was very likely to be a Kasai in top 8, and they just didn't quite make it out. And then we had a Fang in top 8 in both Copenhagen and Kansas City. So I'm not surprised that people are starting to pick those up, because they're like, okay, I've always loved Warrior, but Warrior always seems bad. But it turns out like Warrior's fine. Just Dory's not great.
Yeah.
Don't let another card guy hear me say that. Dory and Bolton.
Oh, man.
Dory's.
I
mean, Dory is definitely not that good, and it does suck.
She is fine. I think she's the most, like, now that Dash has hit Living Legend, I think she's just the most fair, normal hero in Flesh and Blood.
Which is crazy.
Dawnblade. Yeah. Dawnblade still gets out of hand, but it's still like a fair card.
It is. I think that's one of the craziest downsides, and also kind of the weird things to note as Dory, is that the deck gets out of hand and it has unfair elements, but the damage is unfair. And there is a cap to it, and there's a predictability to it. And unlike most aggro decks, I mean, she's mid-range, but unlike most mid-range or aggro decks, there isn't enough to extend your hand. Like, your hand is usually 5 cards deep, and outside of some crazy draws off of Steelblade Supremacy, and it never gets any bigger, or 3 swings. Like, it's too predictable.
It's just some of the hoops you have to jump through for Dory are very, very like complicated hoops, and some of the counters to that hoop jumping is very straightforward. Like a piece of equipment in front of it, a de-reactile arsenal, and then sometimes Dory just goes, "Yep, that got me." Pass, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Warrior. It's tough. But Blade Flurry, amazing card. Probably wouldn't be surprised if Warriors were, and they are, but like were, being heavily looked at to see that card hit $30. So Blade Flurry, definitely a card I would pick up if you have any type of interest in Warrior. Crown of Dominion still through the absolute roof, and the only reason I'm going to note this is because I literally have to go find one, because I want to play Marlin.
Yeah,
I know.
I want to play
decks,
Puffin.
but I really...
That card is so expensive.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll make them both. Puffin seems like a fun deck too. Plus, I pulled the Marvel, so it's I feel inclined. But yeah, the card is insanely expensive. Does anyone want to take a guess what they think the Rainbow Foil Crown of Dominion is? The Rainbow Foil Crown of Dominion.
Is it 120?
You got a guess, Damien? I don't know if you're big on cards at all. Just throw a number out there. You can't be wrong.
What? 155.
Damien's closer. It's 165.
Rainbow
for a rainbow foil. For a rainbow foil,
yeah. Start with a stinking gold. Ugh.
Just to start with a gold,
yeah,
it's 165.
I know it helps with consistency so much with like all 3 heroes in some way. I hate that card. I hate Crown of Dominion. I hate every deck that needs to like use it, and I hate that there's like an archetype that wants to start with a golden play, and they just feel like their crappy no block headpiece is like the best possible thing that they could put in that slot. Ugh.
I mean, until they bring out a headpiece that's generic, that does it a different way, and maybe has a block, that is the headpiece. Kind of along the same lines, we're just going to blow through this one. This one is just funny. I guess nobody has these up on the market, or the 2 at 850 sold, and that's the Command and Conquer, the Marvel. So 2 of them sold at 850. There's 3 left on the marketplace.
The Dynasty
lowest
Marvel?
one is, yeah, the Dynasty Marvel. The lowest one is 1,700. So highly doubt anybody's buying it. That's more so the fact they sold at 850 though is pretty crazy, because that's the outside of the one that sold at, or 2 that sold at 9 back in June. There hasn't been very many sales of that, at least on TCG players. So Those remain crazy hard to get and find, although I still think the Kasai and Conquers have it beat in terms of price by a metric ton, and I still do want 3 of those, and it is like a bucket list at this point. Sensors completely bought out from TCG players, so hopefully y'all have a playset. There are 2 at Lightly Played for $31, and then it goes to $50 respectively. There's only 3 listings, so sensor through the roof.
Really?
Dude,
Yeah.
There's no way it's that expensive, right? I don't ever remember it being that expensive.
There was a time that card was like less than 10.
What? Yeah, Sensor's a meta-driven card. I mean, well, okay. Sensor, like that all you got, hold the line, right? These are erase face. These generics have increased value depending upon the meta, and I guess right now Sensor is just good enough to spend $30 on. I don't know. I mean, Snag's $35.
It could just be like the cross between Slippy playing it some and it being a heavy Ira card in both like Living Legend and CC. I think she plays it in Living Legend, right? Or does the Daggers variant not have space for it? Maybe the Daggers variant doesn't have space for it. You are like doing 9 up sticks and run. But that's still surprising that it's such a high price. Is that card Outsiders? I think it is. Maybe that's why.
No. Sensor is Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, okay. Well, no one bought any of that crap either. You can still buy that. You can almost buy a box for Dusk Till Dawn for how much it costs to buy a sensor. I kid. Maybe 2 sensors.
Dusk Till Dawn is about $90 a box, which is pretty crazy. But remember, Dusk Till Dawn will eventually have the Willy Wonka effect. I know it because I've seen somebody with too much Dusk Till Dawn than they should ever own.
Imagine opening Willy Wonka candy bars to try to find the golden ticket, but instead of getting delicious chocolate, you just get like flavorless cardboard that you just have to throw away.
yeah, but if you get the one really good flavored cardboard that's an artist card, like designed specifically, and it's one of like whatever, and it's a prism or a chain, because they both have, crazy fan bases, but mainly if you get the prism, you feel pretty good.
Actually,
but
at the moment, I feel pretty bad
point.
about getting a chain. They like dogged him in Living Legend. It's really prism or bust at the moment. Okay. Well, what else is there now?
And then last card, this is Warmongers, and then we can move on. Warmongers is down to 58. I feel like the card will continue to drop. I think the lower it gets, you want to look into a playset. I think it is just well worth it. So add Warmongers to your list. Eventually this card will come back in full force. If it not, it still has its, niche, whatever matchups. But 58's better than 99.
Okay,
it's better than 90. It's better than
what
it was.
Card. We talked about it yesterday.
Oh,
Snag.
You're talking about
Snag.
Oh, yeah, I did. I said Snag's 35.
Snag's crazy right now.
Snag's been around 30, but the fact that I think more people realize that they just want it. I mean, some lightly plates went for 20, and it's as high as $41.
If you want to get it from a verified seller, the lowest you could get it for right now is $41.
Weirdly enough, by the way, somebody sold a lightly played one for $1.39 on August 11th. So
oh, I see that.
No idea how that got in there, but it did. So if you were the guy that bought it for $1.39, kudos. It doesn't matter how banged up that card is. It still does what it does when you play it, which is funny.
You want to ruin your local Assassin's Day? Play a Snag.
I mean, you should have that card anyway, because Bonds of Agony is a hell of a drug.
Okay. So we got a lot of spoilers. We got a lot of spoilers to talk about. Some pretty cool ones too, and some really not cool ones. Just I'm gonna hate on Warrior some more. So art wise, Olympia got like a serious glow up, right? because that full art set, the like golden Galea full art set is really cool. Like you've got the headpiece, the chest piece, the leg piece, and then the arm slot. And if you have all of them in Marvel, it just makes it one big art piece. But it's just a bunch of temper 2 that say this counts as a gold. And I get that has synergies with like, is it the forge or whatever that he does?
The golden anvil.
Golden anvil. But does this actually make him, if he got no other cards, does this make him even remotely better?
Are you playing Decimator Axe and you're fatiguing your opponent to the edge of the earth?
No, I didn't say if he's this archetype. I'm just saying in general, is Olympia even remotely better because of these 4 cards?
No,
I wouldn't. Maybe 0.5%.
So he used.
I made Shiana a lot better.
Oh my god, dude! Shiana got so much better, dude. Shiana in Blitz gets to start with 12 armor and 5 gold. She gets to play Visit the Goldmane Estate.
Visit.
So
she also gets to play Visit the Gold. She also gets to play Anvil.
Yep. She also gets to play Golden Sun.
She also gets to play Raisin Army.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, that's like so cool. And it's just sad that like I didn't hear a single person getting excited for Olympia. Everyone was excited to screw around with Shiana and Blitz. Like when someone's like more excited to play Blitz than they are to play Olympia. Ooh man.
What? I mean, there's no. I mean, outside of visit the the anvil, right, and then the other card I think, which is up the ante. But like, what's the? I mean, get 4 gold. You know what I mean? Okay. I don't know. It just they're. I know what they're going to end up building Olympia to do, and it's just going to be the most awkwardly unfun deck I think to play.
Like, I think you could probably make Olympia a viable hero with a total rework. He needs like a completely different hero power, but that would be like an admittance of like incompetence by the design team to just say, well, this hero sucks, here's the new one.
But do you want a warrior that literally the entire, and I mean I guess there's different ways to play, but like, do you want a warrior whose entire identity is how much armor he can you can buy back? How many different equipment pieces you can see put on him in the course of a game?
Well, there's already another hero that can do that. That's
right. That's not good at all right now. Like,
well, you got a new card.
There's no way.
Yeah, right. You got a new
There's
card.
No way it matters. Oh, I was talking about Teklo.
Oh man,
we're talking about
buying back your equipment with silver.
Teklo has to get a card.
Yeah, Teklo needs a whole armor deck plus.
He needs Singularity too.
Okay, yes, like a second Singularity style card in his deck would probably make him like very close to being obnoxious.
If I'm not gonna be, if Singularity said it could be cast from the Banished Zone, I feel like
Teklo would be good, and he'd maybe even need a tone down.
Good. Yeah, because it'd be so good.
It'd be very good. So
what did our Arachne buddy get? Because I'm waiting for that deck to be good too. But it's mill.
Do you really want Arachne to be good?
No, because I think that deck is also really annoying.
Did you not see the Arachne card?
Okay,
I did.
I'll read it out for the people who don't know what we're talking about. It is a blue 4-block assassin defense reaction. It's not an Arachne specialization, but when I read it, you'll understand that only Arachne's going to play it. When this defends, name a card. The attacking hero reveals the top card of their deck. If it's the name card, banish it. Search their hand, deck, and arsenal for up to 3 cards with the name and banish them. Then they shuffle. Contract. While this is defending, You are contracted to banish opponent's cards with the chosen name. Whenever you complete this contract, create a silver token. I think the only cool thing about this is that if you could soul read what's in their arsenal and then you happen to see what's on top, that's pretty cool to like nix a card out of their arsenal on their turn. On top of that, this is like an easy way sometimes to just get 3 silver right off the bat. It's like the payoff for silver is still not great. Like buying your 1 block equipment back isn't like insane or anything. But I don't hate this card, but pitching 3 to block 4 is kind of a lot. Do you think either Mario, that Fatigue Mario variant, or Huntsman will play this card?
I think Huntsman will play this card because it's good into slow matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine playing against the Verdants and they throw a physical attack at you and you play this card and the top card of their deck is Healing Potion?
Yeah.
They would lose the game instantly. It's gonna think play.
Unless they're running Evergreen, but then the next time you throw an attack and they do it again and then they get your Evergreen. To be fair, Evergreen is really hard to win with against Huntsman because he could just intentionally look for it.
Well, he could also just like wait until like you're at the loop and then throw like Surgical or Leave No Witnesses.
Yeah. So what blues are you taking out? Were there like bad blues that you're running already?
You were playing a lot of bad cards already. You're playing Huntsman.
So many of the cards are bad. I get that.
You're playing Huntsman.
A lot of the times your blues are like you pitch it 1 in the dagger and then you do your 1 for 5 contract card, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think Arachne's usually a 2 block, 2 play. Arachne doesn't do very well with a full grip.
That's the one reason this card is kind of appealing to me, is because Arachne is usually quite poor on a full grip unless he has those like very unique hands that he occasionally grabs. I don't know about this card though.
If you get the known information. If it's a good card, you nix their game plan. If it's not, you still nix three cards. I mean, it does what Arachne wants to do. It steals cards, thins the deck, and ekes out value that way.
Okay. So now we've got the 2 like bad sets of cards out of the way. Let's talk about the good cards. The cards that I'm like pumped about, dude. Light Up the Leaves. Holy crap. This card alone is going to get Plume of Evergrowth banned. Like, dude, okay. Light Up the Leaves, red, block 3 cost, Earth Wizard action. Deals 6 arcane damage to any target. Instant, discard this and an Earth card. Prevent the next 6 arcane damage target source would deal this turn. So what this says, because it's an Earth card, if you have 3 blues in your hand, you could break Plume of Evergrowth, get this out of your graveyard, break Stormstriders, play Light Up Leaves, swing with Waning Moon. You have 9 arcane damage on demand at all times, as long as you have 3 blues in hand, if this is in your graveyard. And then you also have against Kano, which is actually a pretty bad matchup for Verdance, you have on demand prevent 6 arcane damage for 1 blue plus an Earth card. This card's really strong. And it pitches red. One of the worst things that happens to you in Verdance is you draw to like 2 Burn Bears, 2 reds. And then you just go, oh, well, this is awkward. I guess I pass. I think, and when I first saw this card, I was like, yes, we got something that pitches red, but I also said, oh no, they're going to ban Plume. That was my first thought immediately, as soon as I saw this, that they're going to ban Plume of Evergrowth.
And also, Turbo like fills your graveyard if you ever want to do that. On turn 0, you could just discard it with an Earth card to put cards in your graveyard.
It just does so many good things. This will be an
auto include, right? Yep. Like there's no reason not to play this.
Yeah, you would
this
just cut
this.
You just cut this for Burn Bear if you had to like make a choice between 3 cards, but you probably run somewhere between 2 and 3 burn bears on top of that. Because 6 Arcane is really good. And also just having a great card into Prism is not bad either. And then our other card that we got was what was it? Backspin. It's not on February.
Backspin Thrust. It is.
Backspin Thrust. It is
on February.
This card is so cool, and I didn't even conceptualize them doing something like this for Puffin. I guess it's not technically a Puffin card, even though it is a Puffin card. It's another one of those cards that's very selective. Backspin Thrust
it's got Puffin on it.
Yeah, it's got Puffin on it. Oh, and Polycranka. A very angry Polycranka. It's a 0 cost, 4 attack, 3 defense red. Once per turn, instant. Untap a cog you control. This gets +1 or go again. This opens up some really, really strong play lines. I think a lot of Puffin decks haven't been running Sky Skimmer because usually you want to spend all your cog taps on like Dovetail, Palantir, and Zeppelin. But if you have 1 cog out in play and you throw Sky Skimmer, you can do 4 go again. Then you can do Backspin Thrust for another 4 go again, untap your cog, and then it allows you to shoot your gun for 2 with the untapped cog and Spitfire. So now you're like on rate with what Dash.io does, but you're not boosting cards out of your deck. So I think this card's really cool. I don't know how it's going to fit because you do have to completely change the deck. You do need some things that tap the cogs that don't consume your action point. With right now, the only ones that you're running is Dovetail and Zeppelin if it hits, right? And Cog in the Machine. I guess Cog in the Machine gives you a tapped cog to use.
You can start playing Pinion Sentry again.
Oh, that's true. Pinion Sentry taps a cog. Yeah, maybe. So Pinion Sentry doesn't also get you a cog too?
Yeah, tap a cog, make a golden cog.
So you could tap one of your copper cogs that has a counter on it and make a golden cog, and then that gives you your opening for Backspin Thrust. Yeah, that's good.
Or you could block with like Tinker Rings and Pinion Sentry.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah, I didn't even think about Pinion Sentry. That's a good outlet for it.
I mean, just on paper, I mean, one, I think Puffin's a very wide deck already, right? So this is just another option for that. But I mean, a 0 for 4.
She's weird. That's all I have to say. I still got a lot to learn playing her. Her play lines are kind of strange. Sometimes she gets to go wide, but other times she's just like throttle into big boy Zeppelin into shoot Spitfire. And that's it.
Well, yeah. Okay. I mean, imagine you have to play this as a 0 for 4. I mean, you're okay. I guess you're not like the happiest person in the world, but this is on rate.
Yes, it is.
I mean,
it is on
if
rate.
it's between playing, you play the 0 for 4, you shoot the gun, right? Or you play the 0 for 0 for 5, like it's not the worst thing in the world. I don't know. Well, I mean, it feels like a good card, and it's Mechanologist too. So I mean, like we said, it's got Puffin on it and Polycranka, but I mean, it's a Mechanologist 0 for 4.
Let's say that all you do
that doesn't have to boost to get go again.
Yeah, let's say that all you do is have a tapped cog. You throw this and shoot Spitfire. That's still a 1-card 6, which is pretty good. Like I said, you're on Dash.io. Value potential with how she uses Symbiosis Shot. It's fine. I'm excited to see how deck building goes with that, but it is going to take some reworking of the current Puffin lists we've been seeing. All right.
What are Puffin's bad matchups?
I can't click on my message from Discord, but I had like a nice breakdown from Emma, who played Puffin in Kansas City and was doing pretty well. He definitely had a line to top 8, and I think he just barely missed cashing out at the end. But obviously, you're not running defense reactions. Assassin can be kind of tough, and then Wizard, I think, isn't great. And Florian, same problems as all Mechanologists have. They just kind of run out of gas versus the Florian, and the Florian can just whittle them down. Okay. So about a week from now, I think we have the BNR that's going to establish the meta for Philadelphia, right? So,
and when is Philadelphia? Just to remind everybody.
What weekend is Worlds? Fab TCG Worlds 2025. I have to constantly remind myself. It's November 13th through 16th. Okay. We will have a whole set of cards out, right? We're going to have all Super Slam, but I think this is the only BNR we're going to see leading up to Worlds. That being said, and seeing some of these callings are always the best ways to evaluate the strength level of a hero, right? Because it's such a long streak of games. We get to see how consistent they are. And seeing Copenhagen and Kansas City, are we going to see any bans and restrictions a week from now?
Yeah, probably.
What do you think, Damien?
Maybe a color of Tipple, maybe Mantle, Plume's probably gonna go. Plume's too strong.
So you think you don't think Swell?
So
Swell's like the one on the top of my head that like.
Oh, I don't think. I mean, Swell is a problem, but I don't think it's as much of a problem as having 9 copies of Tipple in your deck.
What color of Tipple would you get rid of?
Blue.
If you
really, man,
I think the blue one.
I would have said red.
No, because then that hits Marlin.
It's true. It does hit Marlin.
You don't want to hit collateral.
Yeah, that's why you hit Swell. No one else is playing Swell. Literally, it might as well have said Pirate Necromancer on it. Card's unplayable in every other hero.
Why Mantle?
I don't like that every card can be Bonds of Agony. You know, the moment a Bonds hits the graveyard and they have 2 Claves, every blocking decision you make in the game is going to be wrong, unless you have Snag.
Or and even prevention, right?
And even if you have Snag, if they have Shred or Tarantula Toxin, you still get hit, unless you block multiple cards, which ruins the point of Snag in the first place.
I think I don't like Mantle in Slippy specifically, because it feels like it's one of those things that's always on board, right? Because the only thing he flicks his daggers for is essentially just to trigger Mantle. They don't really care about anything else with the daggers. It's just to trigger Mantle. So
that's because it has to be marked, right?
And occasionally Savor Bloodshed, right? They're one Savor Bloodshed per game that they try to pull off. And I think it's so toxic. I was trying to avoid using that word, but even as someone who played a lot of Mario, a ton of Mario, it's really funny because in Mario, Taking the Mantle is still an amazing card, but it's occasionally you're just like, this card is useless. It's so bad. It's just a block 3 or it's a pitch daggers, and hopefully I draw it up at the right time in second cycle. But in Slippy, it's like, as soon as you have a Bonds of Agony in the graveyard, it's just gas every time.
Because Slippy gives Go Again to the first attack, which is the problem. If it was just an attack without Go Again, you can like predict a Mantle play and block around it. But if it has Go Again, every block you make is going to be wrong.
Yeah, because if you overblock the first one, he just does the take up the mantle on the second one. You don't block the first one, he take up the mantle that one and rips your hand apart. Yeah, it's just no correct play. But we also know Brian Gottlieb is like a big assassin stan. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see any change to Slippy at all. I think that'll be very unfortunate because if they do touch Gravy, which I think they're going to, I think he becomes overwhelmingly the best deck in the format, and it's just not even close.
And then I start playing Riptide again.
Yeah.
Yep.
If who becomes the best deck, you start.
If it's like 35% Slippies.
Yep.
You just play
You're
Riptide.
definitely playing Riptide. Yep. They can't not trigger every trap that ever exists. So,
like, and then if they ban Plume, I don't even really run Plume into Slippy, but if they ban Plume, and Slippy doesn't have to dedicate as many cards to making sure the Gravy matchup is good, I don't think there's a reason to play Verdance. I think you're just going to get stomped by Slippy.
Also, sometimes your Guardian, specifically like your Volder matchup or your Potion matchups, they get a little inconsistent. Just a little bit, though. Because sometimes you need that Plume because your Rampant Growths line up in a really weird way.
Mm-hmm.
And, not having Plume is just going to be like the icing on the cake that's going to ruin your turn. Not having it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll play Verdance if Plume gets banned. That's why, I've got the cards I got from you, Noah, and I've got a cart and TCG player, but I'm holding back on that TCG player cart and buying Storm Striders and all that jazz until I see what happens on September 1st.
I think it's fair.
You know who's not going to get hit? Dash IO's not going to get hit, but she's been doing pretty well. So maybe I'll just...
Is there any cards on the ban list that could be unbanned?
Unbanned? That is a novel concept. I didn't even think about that. Okay, clearly it's time to unban High Octane.
I don't know.
Yeah. We
don't
would
know
lose
about
Dash in months. But
I wish. Let's see.
Can't unban Zephyr Needle, that's for sure. That's
you can't
wildly broken.
You can't unban Cash In. God.
No.
Oh, definitely not. What about Awakening?
Yeah, right.
No, please. But
only Jarl can play.
I was gonna say Jarl would actually be really good.
Plunder Run. Who would play Plunder Run? Plunder Run's actually Splunky index. They can't utilize it in a very well fashion.
Yeah, I just don't think they want to bother with it. Let's see, Artivore.
Nope.
No.
Who could abuse Artivore?
Not yet.
It'd just be Syndra, right?
Fi.
Katsu.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine in those because you can still break the boots, right? You break the tiger boots, you get yourself a tiger, you banish that, draw a bunch of cards.
God, Plunder Run's wild. I didn't even know. You guys said it, and I was like, "Have I seen this card?" And I'm just reading it.
This card was banned either right before we started playing or right after.
Well, yeah, no, I could see why.
Yeah, this card is kind of good.
Yeah,
Plunder Run's very good,
dude. The fact that it just says the next time an attack action card you control hits this turn. Not the next attack action card you play this turn hits. Just the next.
No, yeah.
Anything
hits, next time.
It replaces itself.
By the way, take a +3 if it's from Arsenal. You know?
Oh, well, I mean, you've got to play it from Arsenal. It's kind of...
If you don't play from Arsenal, then it's a really bad card.
Yeah, it's kind of dog.
That reminds me of the time I Plunder Run to Pulverize.
I guess so you can reset your arsenal.
Well, no. I played the Plunderer from Arsenal. And I was playing. I was playing Volda, and I just went Pulverize for 18 on hit draw card.
-4 to your first attack next turn.
Mm-hmm. That was in Blitz.
Let's see.
Man.
Bloodsheath Skelata.
That could never be unbanned.
Yeah, that card would be lit in Vinset in certain matchups.
Florian would be toxic.
Yeah. Well, Germinate's banned. What would he play it in? What?
I'm gonna cast Sonata, Arconics,
I
and then put
guess.
all these Rune Ragers and Swarmings in my hand, and then I'm gonna make one.
Yeah, and then you play the Channel Mount Heroic out of your arsenal and just go absolutely pound town, right? Okay. Count your blessings. That's never coming back. Crown of Seeds. That's
never coming back. We have Rampart in the format with Jarl. There's no way.
Yeah. Okay. That's true. Drone of Brutality. Never coming back. Dustblade. I don't see why this doesn't come back. I think they keep it banned as a meme.
It would alter the way Florian's built fundamentally. He would just change into a Duskblade deck, I'm pretty sure.
Is that a problem?
We have 3 Warmongers in the format, so I'm not sure it's too big of a problem, but it would be like it would limit design space for future Rune Blades.
Unban High Octane, you cowards. It's just let's take Dash IO to Living Legend.
You wanted to go to Living Legend that fast?
I don't care. I'm not married to heroes. Like, I love them, but like if they hit Living Legend, that's cool. That's what they're supposed to do. Scepter of Pain, that card is so toxic. I love it, but man. Stubby Hammers. Is that actually how it's spelled, or is that a typo on the ban restricted?
How it's spelled?
It says Hammerers. Okay.
wait. Like HAMMERERS?
Yeah, there's an extra ER there.
Hold on, I'm going to look at it. No, it is. It is actually called Stubby Hammerers.
Wait, it really is?
It is.
Dude, that would be like a great trivia question. Like, how do you spell Stubbies? How do you like correctly spell the Stubbies card? Like, and see if people.
I don't know if everybody puts the extra ERS on it.
I've never heard anyone. Okay, anyway. And all the tomes. I don't think anything's getting unbanned.
No, probably not. Dude, that'd be wild to get like deck checked, and you put Stubby Hammers on your sheet that you gave to the judge, and you got IP1 because it was
because it's not spelled with the ERS. But that's why I thought they were spelled. They're Stubby Hammers. No, they're Hammers. You forgot the ers.
Yeah, don't forget the
belittle and minimalism can never come off.
Yeah, you can't do belittle.
Well, they printed swell, so belittle might come back.
I mean, yes. That's why I think swell should be banned. It's belittle, but you don't have to put 2 cards in your deck. Yes, your card has to be a certain card on top, but you have this like really cool compass thing that you go, oh, is this going to work or not? And you can do it on your opponent's turn, so you can go, okay, it's not going to work. I guess I'll block with it. And it blocks 3 instead of 2. That I think swell is just straight up better than belittle. Like in the way Gravy plays it, at least. Like in the way Rune Blades play belittle, clearly belittle minimalism's way better, right? But okay, I'm sold. Unban belittle, unban Dustblade. Let's go. It's hot Florian summer now.
Dude, we wouldn't need to worry about it. Dude, aggro decks would be coming out of the woodwork so belittle. Dude, Fi would be a deck again.
It would be interesting if they like occasionally did unbans for like, they'd say, okay, we know this is gonna be degenerate and it's gonna last for 3 months. We're gonna unban belittle for 3 months. We're already telling you we're gonna ban it again. Don't get too hung up on your decks, but have fun. And this meta is gonna suck.
Well, I mean, it only sucks if you're, not taking advantage of it, I guess. I'm not really taking advantage, you know what I mean? But playing one of those decks. Which I wouldn't see why
it turn out to not be great. We'll see it. A lot of people will be trying to shove belittle in their deck, and everyone will go, oh, we actually kind of power crept this. Anyway, so consensus. Maybe Plume. Hopefully take up the mantle. And at least 1 card out of Gravy. I think the biggest hit would be to take a set of Tipples out. But I think the likely hit, in my opinion, is swell.
It's like, I don't know. Looking at the last top 8s, right? And you got to take it with a grain of salt. But I mean, like, then the ones before it, there's a lot of gravy activity. There's a lot of slippy activity. It's still decently diverse, but I mean, the win rates are pretty out there. Blue Tipple doesn't feel too bad if it only hits gravy. Swell doesn't feel too bad. Take Up the Mantle doesn't feel too bad. I don't think it necessarily hoses the classes themselves. I think there's just
Slippy's still incredible,
just kind
even
of,
without Take Up the Mantle.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it just kind of takes a little bit of the top end away and some of the I wouldn't say unfairness, right? But it kind of just brings that ceiling down just a little bit, and maybe lowers, or how would that work? Lowering the floor, or would it raise the floor? It would lower the floor, right? So it just kind of brings it more in line. I think the decks are still going to be great. That nothing changes with the identity or anything of the nature. So seems like okay hits. People are going to complain about it because I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do this. And I don't know. I don't think the decks get any weaker. I mean, you take the Blue Tipple away, does Gravy just automatically lose to a deck now? I think he's still fine. Take Up the Mantle takes one trick away. Okay. You just kind of craft your turns a little bit more, differently. You can't just keep throwing bonds around. I don't know.
I go into Fab Blazing, right? The stats website. And there is something for everyone who does want to see bans. There is something very concerning in Fab Blazing. There is not a hero in paper with a higher than 55% win rate other than Kano.
Is that just the Kano effect?
No. I think we actually have shockingly, a pretty good meta. Verdance is, is at 52.9. Acilio's at 54.8. He's the highest. If you want to talk about meta heroes, Acilio has the highest win rate. Prism's 52.6, Slippy's 52.5, Gravy's 52.3. There is not a dominant deck in the format other than Wizards are technically the highest 3. Kano's first at 56, Acilio's second at 54.8, Verdance is barely third at 52.9.
So ban list comes around, nothing happens, we're okay?
Maybe. Which is kind of wild. I know, everyone's excited for September 1st, but I think looking at Fab Blazing.
Let's be real. He loses Tipple, he loses Take Up the Mantle. What, ultimately everybody just starts beating the decks now? Do you know what I mean? There was other cards that were clear indicators that they were problems, like Scepter of Pain, Germinate, right? When those went, Zephyr Needle, right? They were fundamentally broken, and or just working way better than intended, or completely shifted the class identity.
We don't technically know if Zephyr Needle was broken. They banned it preemptively. We never got to experience.
Well, I thought it was fine. I was playing Riptide at the time, and I never lost to it. So
I know we were so excited about our Riptide deck. We were like, dude, it's just going to be full of Zephyr Needle Iras, and we're going to slap them down with this Riptide deck. And then they're like, we're banning Zephyr Needle. And we're just collectively like, no! Our meta! This was it. This was the Riptide meta.
It. Our deck beats Aurora. It beats Zephyr Needle Ira.
We had it. We had everything. And then they banned Zephyr Needle and patted themselves on the back for doing it.
I mean, it probably needed to go. But what if, right? What if they just leave it alone and they do an emergency ban if they need to, if some crazy stuff's out of hand with Super Slam, and that way they don't have to do 2 ban lists?
So the reason I think there could still be a ban, even though the meta looks pretty balanced, is they actively said with the new Living Legend point system, they were going to be a bit more heavy-handed.
They did. But I mean, they did. And that's totally fine. But again, unless they go out and do something crazy like ban Chum, okay? What are you going to lose with a Blue Tipple or a Swell?
Honestly,
I mean, a little bit of consistency.
I think they should just ban Take Up the Mantle. It's just unfun to play against. And then we can maybe move on from there. Gravy, I don't really care. I'm kind of like in the middle about him getting toned down or not.
Gravy's got some polarized matchups.
Well, not only that, it's a high skill hero to both play and play against. So if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get trounced. But
yeah, you're going to get beat either way if he has the tipple to swell or not. That's what I'm saying. Like, it just doesn't feel good. Take up the mantle, it makes sense, right? The way that it's been explained, it completely changes the way you have to think about the game block-wise, and no decision's the right decision.
It's just unfun.
Right. I mean,
yeah.
You don't get to make a good sound decision because you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. So it feels bad. Sure. Okay, so ban mantle and then save an emergency ban or something.
Okay. I'm down with that. Ban mantle. I'm gonna name that. I'm gonna make that the name of the podcast. I guess it's quiet. That means we agree. We're all in. Okay. I think
always all in on banning assassin cards. You know, assassins now.
I think we can wrap it up for the week then. Noah, you want to take us out of here?
Yeah, we can. We usually go around and wherever anybody can find you. If you want to do like a shout out or anything like that, Damien, you go ahead and take the floor. But wherever they can find you on social media, things of that nature, to kind of wrap it up.
Well, you can find me on the Card Games Discord. That's about it.
He also pops up on YouTube, the Card Guys YouTube.
Okay.
Yep.
And then Thomas, where can everybody find you?
You could find me at With System Fab on Twitter, and I also hang out in the Card Guys Discord pretty often. I'm With the System on Discord if you want to hit me up.
At Big Max Fab on Twitter, at Big Max Blue Sky. Open in packs every day on the YouTube channel, although I do need to get back as it's been a couple of days. It's been at least a couple of days, so we'll get back in the swing of things. Some things were thrown off with just general overtime and like a weird schedule this week, but that will be there, as well as I totally forgot about the affiliate link, so just buy the cards using the affiliate link in the description below, and it'll always be linked in both the Pack Crack videos and in the podcast videos. But if there is nothing else, we will take it out. Thank you for joining us, everybody. We hope you enjoyed catching up with us this week, and if you did, subscribe or follow depending on where you found us to catch us again next time. Until then, take care of yourselves, and remember, we are all siblings in cardboard. And if you ask me, like, seriously, what I would ban, I would just ban the ability to have to discard a card for Pummel. And that way, everybody would be happy right now. Seriously. You can't do that. And Pummel's not banned. So you have to read the card and do what the card says. And that's usually how you play the game of Fab. Or you don't. And I don't know. Sometimes you get away with it. But we all know. You're watching.